Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, another NFL Draft Bust Analytics episode in the series. Again, this is a series of videos basically focusing on NFL Draft busts, and if analytics can provide any answers, questions, or any other sort of information to help decipher as to why they became busts. And I think Trent Richardson is a very interesting prospect from that kind of angle because he was a guy that, he was a running back taken really high, top 5 overall. Didn't work out and got to a point where people were like, wow, we shouldn't take running backs that high. It got to that point where people, running backs are just not as big of a deal anymore. They're devalued, they're this or that. And he was one of the first driving forces in that kind of discussion, which I think is a little off base for many different reasons, and I'm going to get into a lot of those reasons in this video. But I do want to just give a general view of what he looked like as a prospect coming out. What were most of the positives with him in terms of his profile? What were some of the negatives in terms of his profile? And also, what are some other things that I think require further research? As I do think that he is a case where it's actually brought up some questions that I think I might actually want to do some further research into. But yeah, so again, terms and definitions will be in the description. So if you're new to the channel, if you're not familiar with my work, you can pretty much go to the terms and definitions there. So let's start with Trent Richardson. So starting with his production out of college, starting with his market share data anyways. He had a 91.08 market share production score. It pretty much hit every single threshold when it came to all-pro potential, 5-time Pro Bowl potential, and 3-time Pro Bowl potential. So, he was a very highly productive player when it comes to market share data coming out. In terms of athleticism, he also fared fairly well too. Had a 93.64 explosive lower body strength score, a 95.11 speed score, and one kind of concern was he did not participate in the 3-cone or short shell drills. Now, as you know, or may not know if you're not familiar with the work, the short shell and the 3-cone is crucial to projecting running backs. 95% of multiple Pro Bowl / All-Pro running backs since the 1999 NFL Draft class had at least a 7.013 cone or less during that time span, with the only exception to that rule being DeMarco Murray. So it's very important to know what that 3-cone is. It's very important to know what that number is when it comes to running backs, and is why a lot of people pay so much attention to that number, is because of that sort of trend in terms of data. And Trent Richardson didn't do it. And I'm not calling him out and saying that his short shell / 3-cone would have been bad or poor. I'm just saying that this is the one aspect of his athleticism that he just failed to participate in, failed to do. And I think that it would shed a lot of light into that, if an NFL team actually came forward and shared what they actually recorded of his short shell / 3-cone. Because, again, a power speed back is awesome, but, there might have been some stuff there. Again, some questions that I think his athleticism data might have answered, when it comes to just his, inflexibility, for example. But yeah, he was but he's a pretty decent athlete. I mean, he had elite explosiveness, he had elite speed for his size. It's just that flexibility data is crucial. On top of the fact that not only did he have a lack of flexibility data available, but when you look at the overall arm length data, now this is something I don't talk about often about running backs because most running backs don't fall into this category. But based on all the data I've done in terms of arm length, 100% of multiple All-Pro running backs since the 2002 NFL Draft class had at least 31-inch arm length or more, and 95% of multiple Pro Bowl running backs since 2002 had at least 31-inch arm length, except for Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is the only running back since 2002 to become a multiple Pro Bowl running back with less than 31-inch arm length, and Trent Richardson's arm length was 30 and a quarter coming out. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, busted, like this is the reason why he failed. Again, I just think this needs a little further research. He didn't fall into, he didn't have at least 31-inch arm length or more. I don't think that's a driving factor in anything, because I still have further data to figure out as to why this is important at the running back position. Why is arm length? Why do you have to hit 31-inch arm length? That's basically what I'm trying to say. But that is something in the data that stuck out, was all the All-Pro, Pro Bowl guys had at least 31-inch arm length. Trent Richardson did not hit that area, which is also why his arms look really good, because, when you have shorter arms, but anyways, but yeah, that's the only sort of kind of red flag or yellow flag, I would say, also about Trent Richardson, is that the arm length just wasn't quite there with him. On top of not doing the 3 count, not participating in the 3 count, which I think would have possibly also answered some other questions that I just don't have answers to right now. And then when you actually get to his NFL production, this is also where we're going to get into some other sort of data points. But when you look at his overall production, he had a very good year in Cleveland for his rookie season. Had a 92 plus overall market share data score. He basically was like a top 10 running back in terms of his production that year. Followed it up with, he got traded to the Colts in the following year. And then, of course, in 2014, that was pretty much the last year for him when it comes to just his ability to kind of stay on the football field. So after that point, he had a very productive season on the Cleveland Browns, and then he just got traded, and then that was pretty much it for his career. After that point, people just kind of started to write him off and calling him a bust. But this is why I pay attention to conversion rate and all that other kind of stuff. So some of you guys have been like, you're going too deep with conversion rate and all this other kind of stuff. But this is why I pay attention to conversion rate when it comes to first down conversion rate with the run, or first down conversion rate with the pass, when it comes to every position and quarterback and etc. When you look at Trent Richardson and you look at his first down his ability to create first downs on first down, first downs on second down, and first downs on third down, even though he was very productive in 2012, even though he was a top 5 back when it came to his volume and touches and production on the Cleveland Browns, he was not very efficient at all when it comes to his ability to create first downs on first down, first downs on second down, or third down. In fact, you just look at the data here. 3.75 out of 100, 15.56 out of 100. Pretty much almost last place in terms of third down conversion rate, and of course fourth down was about last place as well. And the only years, when he got traded to the Colts, that's when his third down conversion rate, and this is rundowns, by the way, his third down conversion rate did improve, but he still was bad when it came to first down and second down conversion rate. And second down conversion rate is by far the most important conversion rate. Like, out of all the conversion rates, the ability to create first downs on second down is a bigger driving force to wins than anything else, and he's just been abysmal in terms of that, in terms of his ability to create first downs on first down and first downs on second down. So this is an issue. This is a driving force for why Trent Richardson is a bust. And then not only that, when you get to his receiving first down conversion rate, so basically this is his ability to create first downs through the pass, which is actually more important than getting first downs with the run. He was just abysmal as well. When it comes to 2012, the Colts was kind of average in that department in 2013 when he was in between the Browns and the Colts, but then he followed up in 2014 with just being bad across the board in terms of this particular metric, which is why backs that can catch the football, backs that can create first downs are supremely important. This is why it matters. This is why it matters for these guys to perform like this, is because of this particular, these particular data points. So when it comes to Trent Richardson, that's the basics when it comes to him in terms of his NFL career. I know I did a bunch of stuff just to tell you that he's bad, but I'm telling you why he's bad. He was bad because he wasn't able to convert on first down. He wasn't able to get first downs on first down, or first downs on second down, or first downs on third down, compared to all the other backs and all the other running games in the NFL. And nor was he able to do it through the pass. And I think that the biggest thing that the conversion rate data really points out to me is I kind of want to go back to the college level, which is going to take a lot of time. I mean, this is an off-season project because you have to understand, I have to go back and get all of the data on all of the running backs in terms of conversion rate data at the college level. That isn't going to be an easy task. That's going to be a lot of hard work. If I actually had a lot of money and minions working for me, I'd have them do it right now. But I do think that this is something to explore, because what it makes me question is, what if this was a trend that was at Alabama? What if this was a trend that was at Alabama when it comes to his rushing first down conversion rate? Because I don't have data like that. All I have is pretty much what they do at a macro level, but I don't have a ton of data at a micro level, just because of all the extra work and all the extra data you have to do to get that, to get that data and analyze that data. But that is where further research has to go with Trent Richardson. But the basis I can say is this: is that when you looked at Trent Richardson coming out of college, the two big things that stuck out was, one, he was very productive at a macro level. He had explosiveness and speed, but he had two, red flags. One was the lack of flexibility testing, which to me is a big deal, because of that 7.093 cone is really important when it comes to the majority of all-pro and Pro Bowl running backs. And then, of course, you get to the arm length stuff, which I really view as a yellow flag more than anything else. Just because of the practical, like, why does having shorter than 31-inch arm length have to do, what does that have to do with running back success or failure, if you will? Because I can't really answer that question. I just view it more as a yellow flag. But he did have that also there, in terms of his data profile. And then, of course, when you get to the actual NFL, you can see, you can see why the Browns even traded him to the Colts, because even though he had a ton of production at a macro level, he wasn't incredibly efficient, in terms of his ability to convert on first down, second down, and third down. So through rush or pass. So I think Trent Richardson is a guy that I think will require further research, but I do think that there was enough there on paper at the very beginning to kind of question him being taken as high as he was taken because of the lack of flexibility information. And on top of that, I do think that this will open up more questions and more stuff to do further research, because I'd love to go back and get a ton of running back, not even running back data, but just split data at the college level, to really see if there were similar trends like this with Trent Richardson in college, if you will. So, but the bottom line is, Trent Richardson became a bust. These are the reasons why he became a bust, at least some of the reasons why he potentially became a bust. And then it's just a matter of doing some further research to either confirm or deny, this information in the future, to help people so they don't make the same mistake, because the point of doing analytics, the point of doing this series is to educate people, is to teach people about what prospects look like when it comes to data coming out, and ask some questions about where we can improve as scouts, where we can improve in terms of evaluators. And I think Trent Richardson is a very teachable moment. This isn't a player that you just dismiss and go, well, sometimes you miss on players. Like, that isn't what this should be. People should learn from Trent Richardson. And I think, based on all the data work, based on all the analytical work I just showed you, I think this should open up some questions, open your eyes up to some possibilities that could help evaluation in the future. So again, my name is James Coburn. You can find my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.